Hello viewers, here is a Honeywell, I guess it's a turbo fan. I don't really know what these were considered. It's a 18-inch I think model, and the number is, let's see if it's readable. It's not really readable. It's a little better. It is the CAS HF-810, I think it says. 1.2 amps. And according to this UL sticker, it is from, looks like 2006 maybe? I thought these were a little older than that, but I guess not. I have mixed feelings about these. And there's our tripod kick for the video. I have mixed feelings about these because on one hand the blade has the potential to be pretty good from an aerodynamic standpoint, but on the other hand it's not good because the pitch is too shallow. If the pitch was steep, it probably would work pretty well, but it's not. It's the shallow. It's like abysmally shallow, so it's going to be a very high speed fan, which creates noise. It's kind of weirdly dusty. It's completely blacked here, but then it's relatively clean everywhere else. The blades don't have thick accumulation on them, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but I suspect this was a pretty high hours unit and just very, very poorly cleaned at some point, which is interesting to see it cleaned at all. And I think this might have been reassembled wrong, because I believe that this should have a click to it, and it just doesn't. Like has one somewhere, so that the tilt adjustment might be messed up. It's got the child-proof switch. And the motor is... that's not what I was looking for. It's probably a Raider motor would be my guess. I don't see any tags on there, but yeah, it's definitely got some hours. That's completely black. So I'm going to say that this was cleaned at some point, which is kind of interesting. So this came from, I think this is the last fan I have from that sale. This came from the same place as that fan and that fan, that commercial building, the sale that was there. So I guess this was probably used there as well, although I'm not certain. Definitely would have had quite an interesting array of fans if these were all used there. It's got like paint splatter on it, and you know, just various like almost like dog hair kind of dust on there. It doesn't totally look like it's the same kind of dust, but maybe it is. I don't know. That automotive shop dust, it has a very distinct properties to it. I used to work in an auto shop for a while, so I'm very familiar with that kind of dirt, and those two fans definitely had it. This one, I don't know, maybe, but this kind of dust you wouldn't really see in the shop environment. This is more like residential dust. The cord is kind of grimy though. The cord has that auto shop feel to it. It's a polarized plug with no fuse. This is from before the fuse plug era. So I think that there is still some variant of this fan made today. I'm sure the blade is different, and who knows how good the performance is. I believe the smallest size had a redesign recently and is now more commonly coming with the shaded that's wrong. It's more commonly coming with the PSC motor, which is a a logical move towards efficiency, unlike many of these other alleged efficiency moves that we're dealing with right now. So depending on the price of those, I think they're still pretty cheap. I might cop one of those and check it out. A review of one of those should get pretty good views. Anyways, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. The prongs are kind of rusty, but I think it's good enough to use for a video. We have 119.8 volts at the meter right now. Switch it over to amps. This is rated for 1.2 amps at full power, which is quite a bit. That's more than the Lasco 3733, which moves allegedly 8,000 CFM. Right. Let's start it up on low. Oh. Well, I guess it doesn't work. Okay. Well, that's not good. Alright, so it seems as though it doesn't work. The failure mode is probably an overheated motor, either from dust or from a locked bearing. Nope, it's not a locked bearing. It's still turning enough to be free. So I wonder if it looked like this all the way around, and then it overheated, and it was cleaned in an attempt to fix it. But it didn't actually fix it, of course, because it's probably a spoiled thermal fuse. Does this have just regular Phillips screws in it? I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like cobwebs over some of the screws. Yeah, it does have regular Phillips screws, so I could see somebody getting into this thing fairly easily. Alright, well, this is going to be a more advanced repair, I guess. And I think, if I recall correctly from the last time I worked on one of these stupid motors... No, this one's not riveted. I recall something being very difficult about the other one I have to service. I thought it was because the motor was either stamped or riveted together. This one looks like it's held together with screws like any other reasonable motor would be, so it shouldn't be that bad. But anyways, so this was a fail, and it doesn't work. So my guess is going to be that we have an open thermal fuse, which is something we can replace and resurrect the fan. But that's definitely more of a advanced and time-consuming project that I'm going to get into tonight.